Hi, here we are again for the Eurometal Express show on www.phonic.fm, and today it's a bit like deja vu. I've got two guys of the answer with me. Different guys this time. I've got Paul and Mickey. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Nice to be back in Exeter.
Nice to be back in Exeter, as you call it, Rock City.
Rock City, well, it's not quite Rock City, but I regard us as the rock town of the southwest, south of Bristol anyway. But hence because we've got two metal shows here in Exeter. So yeah, and the last time I saw you, Paul, was in Bristol, wasn't it? When I interviewed you in Bristol.
In the bar.
And the last time I saw you, Mickey, was down in the studio.
Down in the studio when we played the Cavern here in Exeter a couple of years back.
Very small, intimate venue.
Yeah, wonderful venue.
But this is going to be slightly different tonight. You'll be able to breathe in here tonight because there's a bit more air conditioning and it's bigger and a bit more roomy for you. And the stage, I think, is definitely bigger.
It's definitely,
considerably. So, you have a new album out.
Yeah.
Came out last year now because we're into 2014. And do you want to tell us a little bit about it? Do you want to sort of, New Horizon?
Yeah.
What do you want to say? I mean, like, who came up with the title of the album? Let's start from there.
New Horizon, I guess that would be your title, right?
Yeah, it was the title of one of our songs. When it comes to choosing album titles, it's always a very difficult thing to try and reflect the body of work. Mm-hmm. So, out of all the track names, that was the one that lent its title most to the statement we were trying to make and what was going on in our personal lives and our business lives at the time with the answer. So it definitely reflects our attitude right now and what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Paul and Cormac earlier before we started the interview, and you remember me saying that every album now, you're on your fourth album, and all good thoughts come in the bathroom. And I just had this thought whilst I was listening to the albums today, that each album has like a concept theme, like a follow-on, because you started off with Rise, and then you had the everyday demons once you rise from wherever, and then you face your demons and all the temptations in the world, and then you went on to the revival, so you revived from the everyday demons, and now you're on the New Horizon. It's like you're on top of the cliff, you're starting the new world. Is there like a concept theme? Is it deliberately done like that with the albums?
I think it kind of it deliberately reflects what we're experiencing and going through. As you said, they're not concept albums as such, but
the titles themselves.
The title does reflect
a
kind of an overall concept that we'd be experiencing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's something in that, yeah.
And one thing I noticed as well with the album, and I'm glad you're here today, Mickey, is that I noticed with the sound, the bass has been turned up a little bit on this new album. Was this a pause there with his head in his hands? Now, was this like Mickey was going, we're having higher bass this year, because the bass is definitely deeper. It's got that kind of Steve Harris jingly jing sound to it, you know.
Yeah, well, it's got the live things. Every other album we've done the whole studio, where Paul will double track. He'll take the roll off, lead guitarist, rhythm guitarist, and then double all those guitars. This one was very much a natural, organic feel for the band too. It's as close to our live show probably as anything else, where the bass fills the role sometimes of rhythm guitar, with the fuzz and all that sort of stuff. So that's why it's a bit louder. Plus, I think our producer Toby Jepson wanted that kind of tough, mid-bass kind of punchy sound as well. So that's what he was going for.
And Toby Jepson, I mean, he's done a few bands, hasn't he? His name rings a bell now. My mind is really bad now. I can't think what bands he's been with.
Virgin Murray's
he's
recently
been around a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And you had him on the last album, or was this new?
This album.
Just this album only, yeah. And you've gone over now with the new label as well, so you've got Napalm working with Napalm.
Yeah.
And have you found that's worked out really cool, good relationship with those guys? Yeah. Well, you have to say that because you're being interviewed.
No, everything they've said they do, they've done. So.
I've heard. Well, I mean, I've worked with them I helped them for ages with various bands, and every band I've interviewed on the label, they've always given good reports. And you, like I said, this is the second leg of the tour. Now, the second leg of this tour is the smaller venues. On the first leg, you did the bigger venues. Is there some reason why you do like small venues, then you cut, then you go on the second leg, and then do the bigger venues? Because on the last tour, you did it the other way around. Is there a reason why you do this?
This particular tour was because on the first run around, we just did not get to the cities we wanted to get to, like Aberdeen, Exeter, Cardiff, Southampton. Never played there before. There's a bunch of places, so we always had this in mind.
Are you sure? I'm just trying to think now. Southampton. I just recall a long time ago in your early years. I'm sure you played Southampton.
We had to cancel the show.
Yeah, we were billed.
Joiners Club.
The Joiners, and I'm sure they got videoed and it ended up on a TV station that's no longer around.
No, we had to cancel it.
No, we missed those. I think probably the last show, New Skill Rock with Tokyo Dragons, and we jumped on Alter Bridge. So and just never went back.
Never went back.
I don't know why. It was a great show the other night.
We missed the last couple of shows, and we had to go back and do them again. Remember, it was York as well.
Yeah.
We went back and did the shows after the Alter Bridge tour. So last night was an excellent show in Southampton.
And you've always kept it real, haven't you? I've noticed that you've always kept it real, as in you've brought the music to the people, which is important. And when I say people, dare I say this, you brought it to the real towns, you brought it to the working towns, the cities. I mean, I don't know whether they regard Exeter as a working town, but you brought it to the small, intimate cities where you get up close and then you come out after the show and meet and greet, and and that's a kind of is this a band decision, conscious decision, or is this something that it's just evolved, or is it something you've gone, right, we want to bring it to the people and meet the people?
Well, it's evolved, really.
Evolved?
Yeah, from doing tour after tour and, just going out to meet our fans. We've got a lot of friends now in every city, so go out and do that, then, we'll sign CDs for our fans. We're lucky we've got a very dedicated fan base in the UK, so we're very happy to go out and say hello and sign some stuff every night. It's only, 15 minutes after a gig?
Yeah. And you've been abroad as well, obviously. You've toured abroad and you've been over to Japan.
Yep, many times.
How did that go when you recently were over in Japan?
It was good, yeah. Japan was probably the first territory that really, where we kind of exploded. A little bit on the first record, went top 10 there. So we were playing pretty big shows back then, and we've done the Fuji Rock and big festivals, and it's always good to go back there. And we have I wouldn't say we're superstars, but we get treated pretty well out there.
Strong fan base there. So.
And have you ventured over to Latin America since I last saw you?
No, still not.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Maybe
had some
for the World Cup we might get over. You never know.
Yeah, but you're going to go there for football reasons, or you're going to go there for the music reasons?
Music.
I mean, this is what I mean. You've got to get yourself over there, haven't you? And that's one territory which, where the music is so strong.
Yeah.
So, and once you get to Mexico and Brazil, from what I've been told, you may not leave your hotel. Because they'll be wanting to get in, let me in. But it's I've been going over there in October. That's Mexico, not Brazil. But so if you go to Brazil, you'll have to let me know what it's like. With the new album, any particular song that you really like? Starting with, say, Mickey, which is your favourite track?
Favourite track on the record is probably first single, Spectacular. But live, I love the song Concrete, it's a chunky, heavy song.
Yeah.
And it's been a crowd pleaser every night, and for us too. We just love playing. It's a nice, slow, heavy groove, so it's probably my favourite to play.
And yourself?
Probably same as Mickey. Concrete. It's kind of become a favourite on record and to play. And I think New Horizon. I really like that.
New Horizon. And with writing, I mean, who took part in the writing credits for this album?
It's same as ever.
You all had a contribution.
Yeah, everyone brings stuff to the table, and for the first time ever, we worked with Toby as a co-writer too, which normally we wouldn't do that. We keep it in between the four of us, but it was refreshing to do that and get a different perspective on things, and it changed how we worked and interacted, and we do it again for sure.
So have you got anything lined up for next year?
Yeah, we're kind of, once we get off this tour, we'll be doing some writing. Festival season's coming up. Maybe a trip back to Japan in September, and then just keep on working on the record after that.
So what's the experience like when you're in Japan then? Is it like totally different to the UK?
The first time you go, it is, yeah. It's kind of, even simple things down to what you eat. Remember the first time we went, James and myself were vegetarian, and even
where are you still are?
No, not anymore.
All right.
And even like simple things, like finding something to eat that didn't have meat in it was pretty tricky with the language barrier. And the pace of life's different. The customs are different. But it's a very exciting country to go to.
And how do you find the audience in Japan? Were they more reserved or more fanatical than Europe? We're quite reserved in Europe, aren't we? We're in the north part anyway.
Yeah, they're a strange mix of very fanatical, and they do go berserk, but between songs, I remember the first show we did, in between songs you could hear a pin drop, and we were thinking, do they not like it, or is it going well? But it's just how polite they are. They give you time to get ready for the next song, and then they go berserk again, and they're singing the choruses louder than we were. So you get used to it, but the first time it's kind of almost off-putting, the silence you get between songs.
And what about Scandinavia? You've been over there as well, haven't you? How did you find them? Like, especially maybe places like Finland.
Yeah, well, actually, Finland's really good for rock music. Definitely.
Oh, they're a great place, but they do say that when you're there, they show very little emotion during the songs, and you think, well, are they enjoying it, or?
In Northern Europe tends to be like that, to be honest. Scandinavia's the same.
Yeah, we're a mix.
Yeah.
Some of us are lively, some of us aren't.
Yeah.
We're very critical, though, of this country, I think. Yeah, we're definitely.
So, yeah.
I think it's fair to say that. I think we are a very critical country. We like to have things the way they are, and if it's not done, then, But, yeah, and so set list. Are you going to do this time round? Come on, I'd like to know. Last time, on the last tour, you played the opening track of the album at the very end. This time, are you going to play the opening track of the album at the start, or are you going to play it at the end?
We're playing the opening track of the album first.
So you did it the other way around this time around, because you finished with Revival on the last tour.
Yeah.
I don't know, Cormac said you just wanted to do something slightly different because you'd always done opening track.
Yeah.
Opening, and then we were all like, no, Revival, what's going on? And then in Bristol it came on. And what's the set today? Hour 30, hour 45?
About an hour 25, an hour 30.
Yeah, because I think, unfortunately, when I saw you play last in Bristol, you played on a club night.
Oh, yeah.
And they cut you short. And my mate, he's coming down from Somerset to see you tonight.
Yeah.
And he had never seen you until, I think you met him.
Yeah.
Before, yeah. And he was going, that was amazing. He said, I really enjoyed the show, but it was not enough. it was like hour 10, what's going on? He was going, it wasn't enough.
Well, tonight's 20 minutes.
And it was a club night or something.
Yeah.
So they.
Yeah, we've had that issue a few times, even on this tour, where there's curfews. So we try and get on as early as we can so we can play for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Curfew tonight, I think, is about 11.
Yeah, it's not too bad here, 11:15 or whatever. You're not in such a residential area. Yeah. So anyhow, what's in the pipeline for you guys after the end of this tour?
Just like we were saying, more writing, lots of festivals, maybe Japan, maybe the States, and just get on with the next album. That's going to take us up to Christmas, I think. So,
And the same for yourself? I mean, you nothing privately like
No, we'll just be writing and rocking out, hopefully all summer. Keep busy at the weekends, playing festivals. Got a good few coming up. Download being the first one, which is great.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch around Europe, and then, as I say, just get out next year, and the next year again.
Cool. So everything's looking nice and rosy for the answer.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Rocking.
Paul and Mickey, I'd like to thank you for this interview, and I shall look forward to seeing you guys on stage later.
Yeah.
And have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.